Okay, we're back with more Dr. Dekker. I'm going to start toning down the amount of recapping I do because the patient profiles are getting pretty long. But I will recap as I'm talking to individual patients here.
Valentine's night.
Time as you know it freezes.
20 minutes past 10.
Keep up, Doctor.
Thinks we're going to smother her in her sleep.
I'm a grave digger, Doctor.
I was at home,
David is my husband.
all on my lonesome.
Stabbed him with a steak knife.
Nothing changes.
I'm a qualified angel of death.
When I'm dancing,
You get this day over and over.
Hilda,
I black
I
out,
don't think she's got long.
And Laurie just...
naked on the beach.
Hannah.
Is that it for today?
David hunts,
I can change my skin.
then skins.
Dr. Dekker dated his patients.
I had a hot date
We went out for drinks.
I took photos of Jessica.
Dr. Dekker did
on
phone
Valentine's Day.
and ask me for Nathan's number.
There was a girl there.
Am I wrong to keep the locket?
I'm allowed to talk to her, aren't
He
I?
was preoccupied with finding
Photographs.
patterns.
Rocking chair.
I haven't been back to the beach since,
I had a bit of a shaky loop incident.
where I find something
I set fire
beautiful in the sea.
to Hannah's clothes in the garden. I dug the grave.
I wish I'd said goodbye.
Dr. Dekker cursed me.
It didn't weigh enough to have a body in it. There's someone else in my hour.
I brought David back to life.
I removed the chains, dressed her.
It was Iris.
We could try shifting now.
Would you like to see David, Doctor?
Sorry.
We both read The Cult of the Kinetic Mind. I'm not broke. It's no coincidence that most psychokinetic patients are
Grateful if you could see your way to declaring me
insane, or at least
temporarily insane.
There was no flame. And then there was.
I'll kiss a guy,
I pretended like the hypnosis had worked.
and then he just follows me
Can we maybe not talk about Hannah anymore?
wherever I go.
I may just still pull out in front of the driver.
You rang my doorbell.
The truck driver
The little girl.
killed himself.
David is weird.
Like she's watching me.
I need to put David
Molly,
out of his misery.
Is it okay to steal things?
Sleeping tablets.
fingerprints.
Dead bodies.
I saw Jessica.
Should I kill David?
Hilda died last night.
Do you think I should tell her about
Psychokinetics.
the photos?
Dr. Dekker seemed to like a drink.
Bit of a drinking problem.
It's probably the same for Jaya.
one of his patients was trying to kill him,
He lent me some money.
leaving him messages.
Creature, human flesh.
I'd
I like how the recap
You have
montages get creepier and more frenetically edited over time. All right. My one note that I do have from the end of last episode, Mariana was told by Dekker to use her siren powers to drown people and feed them to a glowing undersea Cthulhu god. Also, Dekker's script pad was stolen and a patient was writing threats to him. Don't know who's doing that yet. We'll start with my assistant. Hello.
I'm worried about you, Doctor. You seem quiet and, well, it's just your fingerprints on the bottle. Maybe you touched it by accident? You didn't know him, did you?
I didn't know him.
Really?
No. Yes. No, I did not know Dekker.
Then why are your fingerprints on his vodka bottle? No.
Supernatural
no,
timey-wimey
don't
shit?
Answer that.
No, sorry.
The infectious madness of Dr. Dekker.
Oh my
You
god,
have
she
to
said
be
the thing.
touched. I'm so worried.
Worried?
You just seem a little different from the person who turned up all those weeks
I am the
ago.
reincarnation of Dr.
You don't talk
Dekker.
to me as much as you did. You flitter between patients in a daydream. Tell me what things are bothering you.
That's not how this relationship works. Do you think I'm going insane?
Who measures sanity or insanity? One man's philosopher is another man's fool. I'm keeping an eye on you. I won't let you go crazy.
How are you coping with your grief?
I think I'm okay with the grief now. My mother died suddenly, and I think I was projecting Dr. Dekker's death to be about her. I know they're not related.
Are you sure? How'd your mother die?
My mother died suddenly, like Dr. Dekker. For her, though, it was different. She burst into flames. I was 7.
It's
They
normal.
said she must have been smoking and drinking on the sofa, but she doesn't smoke or drink.
I have to add my
That's all
notes
that it said it was
here.
Spontaneous combustion.
Jaya claims her mom died of spontaneous combustion. Okay. She's also talked about how Dekker had a drinking problem, but all the patients disagree, so I think she's a little cray.
Dr. Dekker's prescription pad is still missing. I'll let you know if it turns up.
Will you? Tell me about the death threats
I didn't know anything
against Dekker.
about that. If I have any grievances with my employer, I spit in their coffee. I hope that's how you like it.
Do you have any grievances with Dekker?
Don't become like Dr. Dekker. I think that somebody killed him because he was using them.
Oh, he's definitely
There's
using
some
all of
footage
them.
I can't show you because it would affect you too much. Suffice to say, when Mariana told him she could breathe underwater, he wanted the same power for himself. So instead of trying to cure her of it, he'd try and amplify it to see how it worked, so he could imagine it for himself. I think he did that with all his special patients.
Dekker's whole thing was this, like, will to
I think he
power.
wanted all of their powers.
If I believe it, I will have it, kind of a
Does he believe
thing.
in that sort of thing?
Who are the special patients? Is it every person I've been talking
Any
to?
patient who presented with psychokinetic issues, they were his special patients. Towards the end, he began ignoring all the other cases. Most of the patients saw it as a curse, what they were experiencing, what they were unwittingly doing. Dr. Dekker saw it as an ability, a power to be harnessed and used for, well, God knows what he was going to use it all for. So we made them give in to it, and it consumed them, consumed all of them. Whether you believe any
Do you think
of
this
that
is
or
like
not,
a
but they did. Which
Murder
made
on
me
the Orient
angry.
Express type thing,
And that's
and they
why
all
I
did
think
it?
he was murdered by a patient. I've been reviewing your files. I know, I'm sorry, a bit naughty, but have you considered that Mariana may have murdered Dr. Dekker because of the money she owed him? As she had most to gain. She got all the money if he died, and it makes most sense, doesn't it?
Do you think Cthulhu is real? Getting on the nose here.
A fictional space god that's resting at the bottom of the Atlantic. It's not likely, is it? Or maybe you
Huzzah
think
for
it
the public
is.
domain.
Have you spoke to Mariana today?
I'm not sure the patients are improving.
Your
It's an
patience will
understatement.
always be a bother, but you're caring for people. We do still care, don't we, Doctor? In a few weeks' time, there'll be a whole new bunch of faces with a whole new bunch of quirks. Let's not have a whole new Doctor, shall we?
Weird me out. Who do you think murdered
It's
Dekker?
not your job to find out who the murderer is.
That's true.
It's the police. You can only point them in the right direction. Murder is a
To
means
find out who did
to
it,
an
okay.
end. There's a lot more going on here you should be thinking about.
Perhaps you should ask someone else a question. All right, let me remind myself who Bryce is. I think this is the Phantom Hour guy. Yes, this is the Persona guy. He believes he has a 25th hour in the day. Hello.
I'm not feeling very well. I tried to sleep through the midnight hour, and I slept for 8 hours. When I woke up, it was looking at me.
What?
That thing was looking at me. Time was still frozen. I can't escape it. I'm doomed.
What was looking at you? Was it Dr. Dekker?
The thing that's following me, it doesn't have a
He's
face.
talked about this a bit.
I saw it close up when it was standing over me. It has no face, no eyes, no mouth, no nothing.
This is the thing wearing the
Inside
hood
its
that was
hood
making
is
him
just
be immoral.
Space. Just a black hole.
It's creepy. Why do you think you're doomed?
It knows what I did with Dr. Dekker. It's been taunting me.
What did you... How has it been taunting
It
you?
wanted
Okay.
me to follow it, so I did. It brought me here, Doctor. Here.
Is it
thinks
me?
I killed Dr. Dekker. I'm sure of it.
I'm just trying to keep him moral. Did you kill
I
Dekker?
took his body. It was me. I took it from the coffin because I didn't want him
He's
put in the
Gravedigger,
ground.
right?
I don't know what I was going to do with him.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
didn't think burial would be enough. Maybe I would cremate him. But the body disappeared.
Regular modern day Joseph of Arimathea probably has a Persona character named after him. How did the body disappear?
If only he'd been cremated like you will be. I have a private tool shed at the graveyard. I moved his body in there before the burial. But when I came back, he'd gone. It was locked and he'd gone. How did that happen, Doctor? How did Dekker do that?
Spookiness. Maybe someone else moved Dekker's body. Let's go with that one.
If someone else moved Dekker, they'd had to have picked the lock, moved the body, and then locked up again. Why go to the trouble of locking up again?
To conceal that... Okay. Maybe Dekker teleported.
It's not out of the question.
He
to think that
teleports,
Dr.
which is
Dekker
why.
teleported himself out of the tool shed. If I can do it, he probably can. That's
Right.
the kind of thing I've been thinking. But the thing that's been following me, it can teleport too. I think the thing might be Dekker.
Hey, I think it's me,
Is
but
the thing Dekker?
I like how each act seems to introduce a new overarching idea with all the patients. This one is that Dekker absorbed all her powers and is doing shit from beyond the grave. No, the thing is not
So
Dekker.
it is. You worried me then, Doctor. I thought you were starting to believe in the unbelievable too. Perhaps. It had crossed my mind that Dr. Dekker perhaps resurrected himself. Maybe he wasn't dead, just sleeping.
He's pining for the fjords. This is an ex-Dekker. What's been happening in your midnight hour?
I've tried to avoid my extra hour. I tried to sleep through it. I did try one thing. I spied on you, Doctor.
No.
You have a strangeness, don't you?
What strangeness
You
do
live
I
in the
have?
same house as Dr. Dekker. I spied on him
Ah,
several times, so I know
cool.
the house very
I like how they
well.
did stuff in the Jaya
It
conversation
looked
to
almost entirely the same.
make you start to suspect that.
Why did you live in the same house as Dr. Dekker?
Because I am Dr.
Is it a
Dekker.
girl? Or you, Dr. Dekker?
We established skin changing's a thing, so that's cool. I'm not Dr. Dekker. The house is a perk.
Thought it might be a perk. I'm sorry I spied on you. I was just getting worried that you weren't who you said you were. Just some mannerisms, strangeness. It's good you've adopted his dog, though. I'm not sure many people would have done.
His dog?
I don't know.
Ah, that's what I get for typing. Are you still stealing
I
things?
teleported back into the art gallery after our session, in the midnight hour. I replaced the painting, so I haven't stolen anything for a long time now.
Very good, Bryce.
Perhaps a cheeky borrow best describes it.
Cheeky borrow. Do you know anything about the missing prescription
I
pad?
didn't steal Dekker's pad. I didn't have to. If I wanted to use it, I could just
Grenades.
teleport in here and steal a sheet. Why take the whole pad? Why be that obvious?
Claims the main character is Dekker, teleporting Hoodman, stalking him. For shame. Do you know anything about the death threats?
Well, kudos to whoever had the guts to do that. Wasn't me. What did they say? You've piqued my interest now.
I want to kill you, Dr. Dekker.
I waved back at Jessica yesterday, and she smiled.
My strategy for being a therapist is asking the most
I
brutal
think we may
questions
have made
first and then
connection,
winding
Doctor.
down to simple ones.
The photos I have of her, I think I'm going to destroy them.
Good
They're my
choice.
problem, not hers.
Bryce is kind of a creep. He uses his persona hour for that. Claire. This is the Cray Cray stabbed her husband with a knife, but she has an imaginary personality slash friend slash ghost. Was what we originally thought, but then in later acts we discovered that she claims she resurrected her husband, and that her power is reanimation. But it took us the longest. She kind of seemed like she was just kind of generically crazy, like murderer crazy, not like, psychokinetically crazy, I think is the word they like to use. Hello.
I'm fine. I killed David.
Oh.
Again. Like you told me to.
How did that go?
Surely that isn't what you need to be asking me right.
Okay. How did you kill David?
With an axe. I got him to put his head on the wood block. He didn't really know what he was doing. He trusted me.
He didn't just, fully reanimate him. He was kind of an idiot
Cut off
zombie.
his head.
It's a cool
When
cut
I
there.
picked it up, he was smiling. Probably a muscle spasm.
Definitely a muscle spasm. Did you see Anushka again?
Anushka's fine, I would imagine. Her father came over to talk about the missing cat. It would have been an easier conversation had I not been splattered in blood and sweating like a milkmaid.
What did her father do?
It seemed like he wanted to give me a piece of his mind, but when he saw the state I was in, he fled. There were no police that turned up. I suspect I've got away with it, at least this second time. Now all that's left is for you to write up my diagnosis.
She wants me to diagnose her as insane. What
That
diagnosis?
I'm not sound of mind. That I wasn't sound of mind when I killed David. It's up to you whether you want to mention any of our other conversations.
Also,
I'm
she
happy
thinks
either way.
that she's a necromancer. But not like a cool Diablo necromancer. What else can you tell me about Dekker?
Oh, the continuing saga of Dr. Dekker. After he'd seen David and done his due diligence, he came up with an offer I couldn't refuse. Remember? The one I told you about when we first met.
What was Dekker's offer?
Dr. Dekker wanted me to reanimate him. He said he would
It's
kill
all
David
coming
unless I
together.
agreed.
So she's got to get reanimated, got to change his skin, got to have a gravedigger person who can use a 25th hour to steal his body. Yeah, I like it.
He called me on Valentine's night.
We had my
He
notes
promised to
here.
use a disposable phone so there would be no trace. I was supposed to come here, where I would find him dead, and then reanimate him. I agreed immediately. It seems that Dr. Dekker went through with his half of the agreement. But I forgot to turn up.
Interesting. Do you know anything about the prescription pad?
I never saw Dr. Dekker's prescription pad. I imagine he kept it hidden away. To stop people stealing it?
What about the death
I've
threats?
already told you, I never saw his prescription pad, so of course I didn't write any death threats. It sounds like someone is trying to frame me. Who's trying to frame me, Doctor?
Do you think Mariana is trying to frame you?
I don't really know the girl, but I did buy out her loan from Dr. Dekker. I mainly did it to shut him up about it. But can you imagine having him as a creditor? That poor girl. I hope it didn't accrue anything more than interest.
Why would Dekker want to kill David?
Yes. Dr. Dekker threatened to kill David. That terrified me at the time. I still had hope that David would...
I like that this game eases you into a lot of this stuff and has patients like her that just kind of seem generically impaired. Yeah.
Doctor, did I tell you about that time that I used the power of my mind to bring my husband back to life?
You
I
did.
can't imagine what I'd do to the psychiatrist that double-crossed me. But I'm sure it will be fun. For me, at least.
Is that a threat? She's gonna say, I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Threats are usually made without the intention of following them through. This is quite the opposite.
What would you call that, then, if you intend to follow it through? All right. Elin is the Angel of Death hospice lady. She thinks she's a skin changer. I think it's critical which patients are giving us here. She also claims that Dekker drank. Most of the patients disagree. No, I'm sorry. Most of the patients say that Dekker drank, and Jaya disagrees. That's right. Yeah, so I think this whole skin changing thing is going to explain how I am Dr. Dekker. That's my guess of where we're going with the story here. Hello.
I'm good. I feel better. Last session, that was all negative. I don't want to be like that. I made you something. A little thank you for being so nice. They're cookies.
Cookies?
The usual stuff. Flour,
Hey,
sugar,
16.
butter, chocolate chips, and my special ingredient. A little herbalist magic to give you some pep.
Well, it's not that kind of herbalist magic if it's pep. Herbalist magic?
You can put herbal remedies in food. The effect's more subtle, but it does work.
Why were you feeling negative?
I'm a happy person. And really, what's the point of being miserable? It doesn't matter what's going on at work or anything. Happy is the only goal. Max told me that. I think some footballer might have said it.
Max?
I told you about Max, right? Didn't I mention him before?
Did you?
Yes, but you don't know the whole story.
Didn't make notes about Max.
Is 77. He was one of my patients. I thought he was dying, so I shifted for him. Became an old sweetheart of his, apparently. Only Max didn't die. He actually got better somehow. And then he came and asked me to do it again.
Interesting. Did you do it again? Who is Max's sweetheart?
Eleanor, her name was, or is. Like I say, he doesn't even know where she is now. But she obviously still loves him. When I shifted, I felt all fluttery and excited. It's so sweet, isn't it?
Did you become Eleanor for Max?
Yes. Max and Eleanor had dinner on Valentine's Day. I felt a bit weird when he asked me. But he said he just wanted to have one more date with her, and then he wouldn't ask me again. And to be fair,
Valentine's Day is an important day.
Gentleman. I mean, I didn't want to have that conversation.
Fair. What do you know about the prescription pad?
What prescription pad?
Guessing she's just here to remind us that skin changing is a thing. Did you take the pad?
Yes.
Oh.
I took it. I had to.
Helen admits taking the pad. Says she skin changed for old guys. Valentine's Day. Why did you have to steal it?
Dr. Dekker told me he could use it to take away my gift.
Interesting. Oh, we're not going to follow up on that? Okay.
Someone was sending Dr. Dekker death threats. Had no idea. He never said anything to me about it.
Script pad, take away Elan's gift. Okay, that's new. Oh, here we go. I had to ask the death threat thing first. Why would Dekker want to take away your gift?
I suppose he was just trying to cure me. I mean, I thought he believed that I could shift, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he was just humoring me the whole time.
He wanted your ability. Did you kill Dekker?
I could never hurt anyone. You have to believe me, Doctor.
Why didn't Max die?
I don't know why Max didn't die. It usually works.
What do you mean usually
I
works?
just mean when I shift. They see their loved one and say what they have to say, and then there's nothing stopping them from moving on. Why? What did you think I meant?
I thought you meant you were Kevorkianing them. Why did you shift again for Max?
Thing is, because Max didn't die, he saw me change back after I let go of his hand. There wasn't anything I could do about it.
Thank you for bringing me the cookies.
You're very welcome.
Have a radical approach to therapy where we ask really intense questions first and then work our way backwards to how are you? Ask Mariana last. Nathan is Groundhog Day. Dekker had told him that he wouldn't progress out of Groundhog Day until he stopped grieving. He knows about a toxicology combo that killed this girl Hannah. He knew about Dekker's drinking. He saw someone leaving messages for Dekker on the script pad. He's the source of one of our documents is referral letter 3, meaning he's likely on trial for the death of the truck driver that ended up getting killed in the accident with Hannah. Oh, okay. How are you, let's say?
I think you know who killed Dr. Dekker.
You're
so
jumping
gonna
right
have a
into
good
it.
Day. Can we talk a bit about hypnotism, though?
Hypnotism?
I've heard you can plant key words in people when they're hypnotized. How would I know if I had any? I think that the hypnotism didn't take, but maybe Dr. Dekker did hypnotize me, and it did work, and he told me to think that it didn't. I think I found one of the key words.
Oh, what's a key word? That's fun.
I can't say what it is. I don't want to trigger it.
Interesting.
I was on the phone to my dad last night,
Names,
and he said something, and boom, I fell asleep. Normally I wish that kind of thing would happen, but it just happened.
Can you give me a
I
hint?
phoned him back. I thought it was seconds, but it was an hour later. I asked him what he'd said. He'd watched some NASA program. He was reading off planets. It was one of them.
Oh, well, that makes it easy. Mercury.
I don't want it to be triggered.
Venus. Earth. Mars. Okay. It's saying those are all redundant with Mercury. Hypno keyword. Name of a planet. Okay. Saturn? Spooky. I thought it was going to stop me from typing all of them. I guess all the other ones just aren't right and don't do anything. That's fun. Write that down in my notes here. Pluto?
Pluto's not a planet, is it? And why are you even trying?
Thanks, game. I appreciate that. You just went into a trance.
So he did plant me with something. I have absolutely no idea. Did you find out what the key word is? What is it? No. Don't say it. Write it down for me. And thank you. You know, there's something I've not been telling you.
What haven't you been telling me?
It's about time travel.
What about time travel? Okay, like why is that not the top option?
I read a book about time travel.
Uh-oh.
I thought what was happening to me was a type of time travel. I couldn't control it.
I watched this
But
movie
at
with
the end of each
Bill
day,
Murray.
I would travel back in time to the beginning and live it over again. I'm like Doctor Who, but I don't have a TARDIS, and I can't choose what time I go to. Except once.
Once.
The doctor said she was legally still alive. The only thing they could do was starve her. Hannah didn't die in the accident the first time around. It was worse than death. She wouldn't have wanted that. I was looking at a photo from around the time of the accident. I had a lot of alcohol, which I think was probably necessary. I jumped back to the junction. I started pulling out, but the lorry was already on us. I drove into the lorry to make sure. I didn't wake up in hospital because I woke up the next day, present day. Things had changed.
Interesting. What had changed about Hannah's death?
Her obituary changed in the press clippings I kept.
Wonder if my
It
document
said she was killed
changed.
instantly. Nothing else changed. Her family seemed to hate me more, which is ironic because the first time around, they pulled her off life support. So I saved them the indignity. Now they just think it was my careless driving that caused her death.
I assume that didn't change my document. Refer to letter 3. Yeah, we learned that all of these solicitors, their names are anagrams of each other, right? How do you feel about Hannah now?
I'm at peace with Hannah now.
He had to get over
I
his
can
grief
save
for
her.
this.
And I'll keep trying, but I must move forward. I did kind of ask you not to talk about this anymore, but I suppose you're not taking notes.
I am taking notes, just not on that. Do you still feel guilty about the truck driver?
The worst thing about my condition is that people think they're asking me something for the first time. I get asked the same thing over and over again. I've actually lost track of what I've already told you and what you're supposed to know. So what if the truck driver had the same combination of sleeping tablets and alcohol that Dr. Dekker had? That doesn't prove a thing.
Just taking notes. How have things been with Mariana?
Things have been interesting. Thanks to Mariana.
Interesting?
We went on a date. What sort of?
Don't
She
worry.
texted me this bar she was going to, and I just turned up. She can dance.
You're gonna get sucked to the bottom of the ocean, dude.
Next thing I know, I'm lying in my bed, at home. The room's spinning. The day moved forward. In fact, every night I go and watch Mariana dance, the day moves forward.
Interesting.
Do you think Mariana likes me?
Mariana, Siren sends Nathan's days forward. I guess we need ways for his days to advance, since I'm talking to him on different days. Mariana does not like you.
So what you're trying to say is that Mariana is just using me and has no interest in me romantically whatsoever.
Yes.
Thanks. That helps my self-esteem.
Not what I'm here for, bud. Who murdered Dekker?
Today, Doctor. Today we will have fun. Other days I've told you who it is. Today you can work it out for yourself. Maybe that will move things forward for me.
Do you know about the prescription pad?
The prescription pad's missing.
Aelin
What
took
with
it,
all the death
apparently.
threats on it? Do you think the murderer took it to cover their tracks?
Achievement unlocked specialist. How are they covering their tracks?
Claire Castleford. That's who's been writing the death threats on his prescription pad. I didn't really want to say, but I think people need to know now that it's gone missing.
Okay. How do you know Claire wrote them?
Dr. Dekker told me it was Claire Castleford. He said he knew who the culprit was, but he thought it was more fun that they didn't know that he knew. Madness.
Dekker's a special creature.
I was trying to find his bloody paper spike to stop him using it in our sessions.
He would like stab his hand on the spike and then it would heal.
Walked in on me. I had to improvise.
I don't think he took his powers from somebody else. Did you ever think to drive away from the lorry?
I didn't have time. I jumped back to the split second the accident happened. The truck was already on us. I swerved left the first time, so I tried right. If I could have saved her, I would have done. I didn't want her to die.
Why lie about Hannah being on life support?
I haven't been lying. As far as everyone's concerned, she died in that car accident. Instantly.
Yeah, okay. All right, Mariana, let's go. How are you?
I'm fine. Doctor. I went to the beach, swam under the sea, and returned to tell the tale. No blackouts. Nothing.
Did you see Cthulhu again? Are you sure? How are your dreams?
I don't dream, Doctor. I haven't dreamed for years now.
That's fair. Cthulhu. That's good. You're lying about not dreaming.
Yeah. I did say that was a dream, didn't I? Is it easier to swallow, knowing it's the truth?
That she goes under the ocean and bleeds men to their deaths. What's the truth?
The truth is, I'm not like you, Doctor. Or anyone else. I can swim to the bottom of the ocean for hours. And people follow me. Even if it's the last thing they do.
It's often the last thing they do, yeah? It's kind of my interpretation. Tell me about being followed.
People follow me into the sea. I don't force them, they just follow to see the creature.
The creature?
I'm not sure what you'd call it. A wisp?
Oh, okay. I was thinking
A star?
bat squid.
So bright and warm and loving. I don't know why it leaves me. It only wants the others. It feeds on them.
Oh, music change. Oh, never mind. It was just coincidental. Feeds?
When I look down, I black out. But if I can just keep looking forward, no blackouts. I can just swim back to the top when it's finished.
Cool. Slightly MDA. What's wrong with looking down?
You really want to know?
Just want to see it.
If I look down, it's writhing. Just
Okay, so it's not always a happy
winds
wisp of light.
from the clubs and the bars. Not just from this week, but last week, last month, last year.
There's like a little
They all
legion
look
creature there.
terrified, but somehow still alive. The creature. It's all inside them, poking holes through them that they shouldn't have.
How does that make you
It
feel?
just eats them. Slowly.
Does it keep them alive during it? The creature eats them?
The missing people.
Oh, that's what I was going to get when I said feeds.
That's where they go. I don't know I'm doing it. I swear I don't, Doctor. The creature. I hear it. It's hungry. Nobody can know. It's our secret.
Well, you're going to threaten me that you're going to lead me down to the ocean? I guess there's nothing I can do about it if she's an actual siren. I can't keep a secret if people are getting hurt.
It's our secret. What will you tell people, that I'm feeding people to a creature at the bottom of the ocean?
Yeah.
What proof do you have? You can't tell on me. You know what you do to me. When you visit, I let you do it because sometimes I'm ashamed.
Okay, so almost positive that
What
the
I've
main
done.
character is a reincarnated, skin changed Dr. Dekker.
You make me feel like I deserve it.
Creepy. Not cool.
You get inside me, Doctor. And it hurts.
Ew.
And you don't care.
There's no follow-up questions on that. That's fair. What missing people?
I can't explain what happened with John. He followed me back from the bar that night and swam with me under the ocean. I blacked out. He'd gone.
Who's John?
You must have read about John in the news. He was a local student who went missing. He was a looker. And he had a way with words, but he was also a cheat. The creature liked eating him a lot.
I was about to say, is he part of the death ball in the ocean
I
now?
can't explain what happened next.
Legion limb monster. What happened next?
I left him to be eaten. And the next morning,
She can't explain, but she can
he turns
say.
up in my bed
Okay.
at my house. He's not wet at all. No signs he's been in the sea, but he has holes in him. Lots of holes. His inside is on the outside. Just a ball of tangled worms.
It's pretty gross.
And now they're blaming me, but
Oh, is that why she's here?
you knew that, Doctor. Didn't you? That's why I'm here.
Yeah, we know at least two of them are here for, like, courtroom reasons. Claire we knew. I guess we already knew Mariana, too. And again, all of these solicitors have the same letters in their names. Why are you really here?
They think I killed John. John and some others.
What's their theory of the crime?
They need to know whether I'm insane or not.
Did you kill John?
No! The creature killed John.
Who needs to know whether you're insane?
My lawyer. He says I'm insane, but that he needs you to rubber stamp it.
What's your lawyer's
Do you
name?
think I'm insane, Doctor?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Thank you, Doctor. That's all I ever needed to hear you say.
Easy peasy, no problem. Do you know about the stolen prescription pad?
Why would someone steal Dr. Dekker's prescription pad? I didn't even know he had one.
Did you take it?
Wow. That's a low blow, Doctor. And after all our sessions...
I know it's not, it's
I'm
Elin,
not
but...
a thief. Even the loan, that was just unfortunate.
Tell me about the loan.
Dr. Dekker asked for his loan back after diagnosing me as sane. In his opinion, my blackouts and everything else were fictional. He had no proof, of course, either way, or I'd be cured, but he asked for his money back, and I didn't have it.
Did you kill Dekker because you owed him money?
Why would I do that? Dr. Dekker transferred our loan agreement to Claire at Castleford. She bought him out. I owe her the money now.
Yeah, that's consistent with what Claire said. Tell me about the loan
I
transfer.
don't know why she did it, but Dr. Dekker got repaid, and now my agreement is with Claire. You should ask her.
Did you write the death
I
threats?
prefer actions over words, Doctor. You know that.
How well do you know Claire?
She's the woman that took over the loan I had with Dr. Dekker.
Claims I, as the doctor... Just adding notes about Mariana here.
You're a naughty one, Doctor. You know you visited my home. Why do you keep denying it?
trouble because John showed up after she drowned him and was found inside out. Very creepy. I did not visit you.
Don't you remember? That's a shame. You had fun.
I think we're getting these kind of out of order.
If you can't remember, I'm certainly not going to enlighten you.
Fair enough. Okay. Accuse. Claire took over Dekker's loan agreement. Claire wrote the death threats. I should tell her. Nathan clearly taking notes. Trans. Pretty sure it's Jaya. Nothing else makes sense here. I did it. All right, let's go down the list here. Bryce, I don't buy. Claire sounds like she wants to kill me. Mariana, I don't think so. Nathan, I wonder if you get different paths here based on which one you pick. Nathan, no. Aelin, no. Aelin did take the pad, though. Yeah, I think it's Jaya. Yeah, Claire wants to kill me, and I'm Dekker, therefore it must be Claire. She seems like it's too obvious because she's the most aggressive character. Let's try Jaya.
Doctor, we've had a bad day, haven't we? If you think I'm guilty, then one of your patients must have you just where they want you. I'll forget this indiscretion and go and put the kettle on. And perhaps you can have a lie down or something.
Okay, so it wasn't Jaya. That's fair. Well, I don't think it was Bryce. Claire seems too obvious. Aelin, Dekker was trying to take away her gift, so I feel like she has the best motive out of all of them. So I'll try that.
No, you've got it all wrong. I'm not a murderer.
Maybe
I'm a good
it's
person. I
me.
help
It's not any of
people.
them.
Why would I want to kill Dr. Dekker? Without him, I'd never have started shifting. Anyway, I had the prescription pad just in case, so there was no reason for me to kill him. I'm really shocked you thought it was me.
Game over. I'm gonna get. I don't know if it's none of them, and then it's gonna open up a seventh option, or if I'm just super wrong. Nathan claims that Claire is writing the death. She seems so obvious. That's the reason I'm not picking her first. We'll try it.
I didn't kill Dr. Dekker. If anything, I'm guilty of not bringing him back to life. And that's manslaughter at best. Good
That's
luck
pretty good.
proving my talent, Doctor.
Nice. All right. So it's not Claire. Is it really going to end up being Mariana? She's definitely the creepiest one of them all, but also seems too obvious. Bryce sounds like he just took the body. Nathan had pretty good motive to want to kill Dekker.
Doctor, really? You said I was guilty yesterday too. And here we are. Again.
That's cute.
Nobody's going to miss him. You've talked to the patients here. He was the problem. He cursed me, I'm sure, and with 2 weeks of straight days after his death. What more proof do you need? I'll tell you what I told the police yesterday. Dr. Dekker phoned me on Valentine's evening, and shortly afterwards, I was standing in his office holding a paper spike covered in his blood.
Well, there you go.
I had no idea how I got there.
He has the best mundane reason to kill Dekker, but I thought it was going to be a supernatural reason.
I took it. I'll show it to the police,
Suicide
but
note.
not to you. I think Dekker wanted me to kill him. I think he called me and activated some kind of kill switch because he wanted to end it all. That's going to be difficult to prove, but if you're showing them today's footage, make sure you show them the part where you activate me. You failed to do that yesterday. What do I need to say to get you to believe I'm innocent, Doctor? Tell me.
You did suicide by
We
Nathan?
can try again tomorrow.
I thought it was going to end up being suicide. That seemed like where they were going with it this whole time. You caught the killer. You didn't do a good job of it, though. You were guest number 4 of 6. But what about your patients? And what about you? Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It's one of those, like,
I'm not really sure
if
what
you don't
you'd
like
call
me
it.
at my worst
Mutually
type
assured
quotes.
delusions. I think Dr. Dekker was projecting his weird fantasies on me, and it was just going to be easier to go along with it, to participate. I feel much better now I know I didn't hurt anyone. I didn't hurt anyone. Did I?
It looks like Terry won't be coming back. She hasn't been in for a while, and I thought she just had a bug or something, but from what I've heard, it's not good. Apparently, she's in intensive care, and they can't figure out what's wrong with her. Well, I'm not going to lie. Work's much easier without her watching over me. Does that make me a horrible person?
There's no need to go over old ground. I
I
understand.
like the new angle for
David
these.
died when I stabbed him, and everything else since, everything else that's happened, that was all me. David, Anushka's father, Iris. What's next for me, Doctor? How do we cure what I have? By all accounts, and thanks to a very unfriendly jury, it seems like we're going to have quite a lot of time to figure that out.
I think I was in my own head too much, manifesting things that weren't there. But I'm very much an art connoisseur now. It's definitely helping keeping me sane. I've realized that I'm a very visual person, and paintings can keep me occupied for hours. I go to Providence whenever I get the time. It's the local art gallery here. The best time to go is late at night. You get the place all to yourself.
What I want to know is how did you know which patient was the
By
murderer?
guessing.
I mean, they all lied to you, didn't they? I'm just glad
Brute
it's
force.
business as usual around here, and I'm not having to look for another doctor again. It's embarrassing. Dr. Dekker almost caught me writing the advert for his replacement.
Stop worrying, Mr. Ashby.
Max post insanity.
Yes, it sounds almost certain that you murdered your business partner, but I can get you a temporary insanity plea.
Cutscene with lawyer.
I'm a lawyer, not an agony aunt. Now, as I was saying to you before, you need to choose your particular strangeness before I can refer you. Once you have chosen it, don't waver. You have to
This is
believe
great.
what you're saying is true for it to work.
I like that idea better. It was all a law scam. There was no supernatural anything. That's great. I'm wondering if it has different endings and different pathways. I guess since that's credits, if you're watching in the future on YouTube and you know different directions this would go, feel free to let me know. This will probably be my only playthrough of it. That was a fun game, though. I like that they got real actors. Seems like the actors had a lot of fun with this. Probably good for their portfolios, right? Each of them has like about an hour or so of close-up acting opportunities. How unfortunate. Hint me, baby, one more time. Cool. Thanks, Waffle Tea, for sharing this. This game was really cool. Kind of in the style of her story. I wish it was easier to not use the drop downs and just type responses, but I don't know how they could do that without just being really, 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 really forgiving as to when it plays the next bit of dialogue in a line, right? There were a lot of times where I would type a question, and I just needed to word it slightly differently, so I ended up mostly just using the drop down after that point.